In this episode of Flea Market Rescue, we're going to do 4 quick thrift store makeovers. We'll take this hanging wall organizer and turn it into a beautiful French cottage kitchen shelf. Next, we'll take this old box that we got from the barn sale and we'll turn it into a charming Farmhouse utensil holder. We'll take this vase that I got from the thrift store when I was thrifting with my sister and we'll turn that into some old-looking pottery. Next, we'll take this urn-looking vase that I got from the thrift store along with this ball of greenery, and we'll turn this into something very high-end and gorgeous looking. So if you're ready for this episode of Flea Market Rescue, then let's dive in. Just a quick note though before we get started, if you're new here to Flea Market Rescue, I just want to welcome you. My name is Kelly Sherry and I do a lot of home decor makeovers. I also do furniture flips and I have been known to take you on a few thrifting adventures. So if this is something that interests you, I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel and ring the bell. That way you'll get notified every time I post a new video. Now, I know this video was supposed to be out on Thursday. I am so sorry for the delay, but as I explained to you, we are putting on a deck, a much needed deck. I think that we have all fallen through there and it's just embarrassing to even tape on there anymore. So I'm glad to say that we will have a new deck and I will show you it as soon as we get it done. All right, a little while back I was at the thrift store. Remember when I broke something? I have plans for this. Okay, so that definitely was not my plan. But I also came across this wooden organizer too. Anyway, I found this here. Someone used it for their bills when they were due. And we're gonna totally change this. I love the look of this, you know, with the B-board behind it, but I'm not really a big fan of the leaves and the flowers, so we're going to change that a bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is sand some of these flowers just in case they're a little raised up. Now that we have it sanded smooth, I'm going to take a Clorox wipe and I am just going to wipe up any of the dust so that we can get ready to paint this. I'm going to use some of this Annie Sloan graphite paint and we're going to paint that here. This is all dry. We're going to flip that over, paint the back. After you get done painting the back, you want to flip this over once it's dry and just kind of look and see if you need to do a second coat, or maybe you could just touch up certain areas you might have missed. Now, although this looked nice painted the way it was, it just looked a little too plain, so I wanted to put some kind of saying on it. I typed in the word cottage kitchen into Google Translate, and then I came up with this in French. So I created this in Silhouette Studio, and then I cut it out on my Silhouette. I did it more in a cream color because I just wanted it to look a little more aged. I then peeled back any extra vinyl that wasn't part of the design. Then I started to weed out any extra pieces that might still be left. After applying some transfer tape to the design, I then went over it with a credit card. I carefully peeled back the design so that we could put it on our shelf. I then centered the design and went over it with a credit card so that the letters would stick down to it. And then lastly, I pulled the transfer tape off. I think this came out really nice and I could totally see it in any cottage kitchen. All right, I don't know if you guys remember when I went to the barn sale. If you haven't watched that video, make sure you do. I found such great stuff. It was the best barn sale ever. But anyway, I found this box here. It was only $6. Well, actually it was half off, so it was $3. It's just like a homemade kind of box, but it has a lot of character. I really want to paint it because this is just plywood here, and we're going to use some of that Junk Monkey paint. If you remember back, I got that Junk Monkey paint from a Step Back in Time Vintage. They had every color there, and we're going to use antique lace today. So we're going to start by taking this price tag off, and then we're going to wipe it up with a Clorox wipe because it is pretty dirty. Now it's ready for paint, and we're going to use this antique lace. Using a stick, I stirred it up a bit, and now we are ready to put the paint on. Now if you notice, I am not covering the entire thing because I want some of this natural wood to shine through. I want to give this like an aged appearance. And we're gonna let this dry here. All right, so we have this pretty much dry here. So I'm just gonna sand it a little. I like how it looks, but I just wanna add a little more detail, like around the sides here. So I think that has a really nice look to it. We sanded the back. I love how this came out. It has such charm, and I can see it in a farmhouse kitchen. The only thing that we need to do is add maybe some utensils. These utensils here were bought at the dollar store, and I coffee dyed them. So that's what made them this color. I'm gonna put those in there. And then I do have an actual vintage spoon, so we'll put that in there as well. And then add a little greenery just for some color. Put it over here. I mean, it's just super cute. Love, love, love this. And I have to say, I think this is my new favorite color. I love Antique Lace by Junk Monkey, and I'm definitely gonna use it on more stuff. It just has that homey kind of farmhouse look to it, so it's just a really nice color. I bought this while I was out thrifting with my sister, and although this is, you know, perfect the way it is, it does have a little chip in it here. So we're gonna fix that, and I'm gonna make this more like an old kind of vase. So we need to get the sticker off here, and then I am gonna fix this chip by adding a little magic skull. And as you can see, it was only $1.99, so I think that's quite a deal. So I mixed up some of this magic sculpt here, and we're just gonna fill that in. I really didn't even need that much. You could also use paper clay too to fill in any chips. If you buy something and it has a chip in it, that will also work. So I think that's pretty good. I think that kind of fixed our problem here. Now, normally I would let that dry, but kind of pressed for time, so I'm actually going to just start painting this, and this magic sculpt will just end up hardening anyhow. So we're going to do a little paint mixture, so I'm going to cut this water bottle so that we can just use that to mix our paint in. Now we're going to take some of this baking soda and we're going to put some in there. I'm going to use some of this Dixie Belle chalk paint in Coffee Bean. I really love this color. It's like a brownish black, and it just really looks good once you're done painting something with it. We're going to add some of this paint to the baking soda, and then we're going to mix it, and it's going to give a lot of texture to our paint. You just want to mix it all together. It's going to look really muddy and kind of clumpy a little bit, and that's exactly what we want. And we're just going to stipple that onto our vase. You don't want to brush it on, you want to stipple it, because that is going to give you that texture look. Alright, that is looking good to me, so we're going to let that dry. Alright, so now this is dry, and as you can see, it's very textured. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little of this ground cinnamon here, and we are just going to sprinkle some of that on there to give it even more kind of aged look. So I added a little water to this right here, and I'm just going to kind of streak over it a little. So as you can see, it really has some really rich tones, and it looks nothing like the brand spanking new vase we had. It just has a lot of character to it, and again, some really rich old tones that make this look like it's vintage. The only thing it needs is maybe some flowers. I had gotten these flowers at the barn sale, and we're just gonna add it to that. So I'm just going to put that in there, just add them in. And I think that is just a pretty addition to this vase. All right, so I bought this at the thrift store. I don't know, it was just a few dollars, maybe $3.99. I think the price fell off of it, but it was from the thrift store. And I also, if you remember when I broke that thing in the thrift store, I have plans for this. I found this as well. So we're gonna put both of these together. Now right now that doesn't look so good, but we're gonna make it look good. So let's paint this. We're going to use Annie Sloan French linen for this one here. We'll take this and let's go ahead and paint that. Okay, so that looks pretty good. As you noticed, I did not paint everything. I let the detail kind of come through. So we're gonna let that dry here. Now we're just gonna use some of this Wise Owl black wax. Now you're just gonna wanna take that black wax and with a brush it on the entire piece. Mine's a little dry because it is old, however, yours should go on very smoothly. Now with a cloth, we're just going to rub that in so it blends better. If you take too much off, you can always add a little more black wax to it. I think the black wax just gives it some really nice rich tones. Also, I want to note that if you get too much black wax on there and you don't like how it looks, all you have to do is add a little clear wax and that will remove it. I just want to show you a close-up of all the rich tones. I think it looks very distressed and I'm really loving how it's coming out. Now we need to finish the bottom so we can bring out all that detail. I think it's looking fabulous. It has that old look to it. It has a lot of rich tones. And once we get that greenery ball in there, it's gonna be perfect. Before we do though, we're gonna go back in with the Annie Sloan French linen. I have a wet brush, I dipped it in paint, and we're just gonna rub a little of that off onto a paper towel. Now we're just gonna glide over lightly and dab in certain areas. I know this is messy, but it's gonna add to the layer effect that we have going on. Oh geez, I am really making a mess here. That's all right. Everything can be cleaned up, but you might want to put some paper down if you're doing this. Now we're going to continue doing that to the bottom as well. Now I'm just going to take a paper towel and wipe anything that's still really wet. And as you can see, I'm dabbing on the top here. Now will you just look at that? Look how aged this looks. It looks like it's been around forever, and this is the look that you can achieve by layering your paint. All right, let's try out that greenery ball. No, this looks a little too dead. We need to spruce this up a bit. We're gonna use some of this reindeer moss that I got from the dollar store. We're gonna use our glue gun and take a small amount of moss. We're gonna pull it apart and kind of stretch it, and then we're gonna place it on our ball. And then we'll just continue to keep working on it until the whole thing is covered. I think this moss is adding the perfect green color to contrast our urn. All right, so anything that is not on there, like if you see like this here, just go back in and just kind of secure some of those pieces so that it's on the ball. You just kind of go around and look. If you see a certain area that's kind of lifted up, all you have to do is just kind of go back in. For the most part, this is down pretty good, I would say. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little of this twine here. I'm gonna take a little of this twine. I actually got this at Meijer's. And we're just gonna kind of wrap that around this. Tie it underneath. Just holding it in place there. I think I'm gonna go around one more time like a slice of a pie. Kind of distribute the string. I think that looks pretty darn good. And then we can just kind of, since I had to shift this a little, we can just fill those areas in. So I think that looks pretty darn good. Let's go ahead and glue this ball in. We're just gonna make sure that's right like that. We're gonna push down. I really like that. Okay, let's get rid of these. And then, like I said, we're just gonna fill in those little areas that don't have enough of the moss on there. I think this looks absolutely gorgeous. There you go. It looks like something very high-end now. And that's our 4 quick projects for the week. Make sure to stick around for a preview of an upcoming episode. Well, guess who went garage sailing again? Yep, Debbie's van was there to pick us up at 7:30 promptly. You guys remember my mom's friend Debbie. We went garage sailing with her. She gave us a tour of her gorgeous house, and she even gave us some great ideas.
These old irons have a million uses. I use them to put on things when I'm gluing something or repairing something. I use them for door stops. I use them for a bookend for my cookbooks and stuff.
So yeah, we're going out garage sailing again today. Good morning, Debbie.
We're ready. Let's do it. We got a half a pack of cigarettes and a full tank of gas. Hit it.
We're heading to a huge garage sale mania on the lake, and we're taking you along. That's really pretty. So come join us for a fun-filled day of shopping, lunch, and we even stumbled across 2 new stores we cannot wait to show you. Also, don't forget that I have my Halloween hang tags in my Etsy store. They make a great addition to any of your fall items. They're wonderfully creepy. Also, don't forget to pick up an ugly recipe box and turn them into a witch's recipe box using some of these witchy recipe cards. These are all available in my Etsy store, and I do have some new fall stuff coming for you very soon. And I just want to announce again, we hope that you'll join us for the Springfield Antique Show and Flea Market in September. My mom and I would love to meet you. We want to go ahead and get a group photo with everyone who attends. We're planning to meet everyone at the Big Ice Cream Cone, September 17th, Saturday at 2 o'clock. You can't miss it. It's huge. For those of you who have let me know that you're coming, I'm really excited to meet you. Thank you so much. If you are planning on coming and you haven't let me know yet, please write attending in the comments. That way I can have a little gift for you as well. I can't wait to see all of you in September in Springfield. It's going to be so much fun. Well, that's it for this episode of Flea Market Rescue. If you like this episode and you want to see more episodes, make sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell. I'm Kelly Sherry, and this has been Flea Market Rescue.